The jungle trembled like a living drum as Jaxon felt the earth split beneath him, the air thick with ozone and the metallic scent of molten steel. Because the Titan Howler, the colossal progenitor of the Iron Howlers, a creature the size of a mountain, plated in blackened steel with glowing orange veins running, like rivers across its body, eyes burning molten fury and a roar that shattered, stone and deafened every living thing for miles, was rising from the hidden, underground forge, and with it, the jungle itself seemed to bend. Trees swaying violently, rivers rushing backward, and beasts fleeing to higher ground as though anticipating the apocalypse. Jaxon, heart pounding, muscles coiled like springs, and Seraphine, gripping her revolvers with deadly calm, ran across the shattered canyon floor toward the source, navigating smoke, flames, and jagged boulders while hearing Silas Redd's mechanical laughter echoing from the cliffs above, announcing that he had fused himself with the Titan Howler's core via remote control, mechanisms becoming part of the colossal machine-beast hybrid, and that the world would kneel before his vision of steel domination. With the West tamed and the jungle crushed under iron claws, Jaxon roared to the sky, calling upon the heartstone inside him, vines exploding from the jungle floor like serpents, roots ripping through stone, animals gathering in armies on cliffs, and the very wind bending to his command, giving him a strength beyond human limits. Because he knew the Titan Howler's awakening meant not just a fight for survival, but for the soul of the wild frontier itself. The first clash was cataclysmic. The Titan Howler swung a metal-clad paw, smashing entire boulders like pebbles, sending shockwaves through the canyon, while Jaxon leapt from tree to rock, vines propelling him upward like living catapults, dodging molten claws, and slashing at mechanical joints with a blade forged from jungle steel, reinforced by heartstone energy, sparks exploding with each strike, lighting the dark canyon like a thunderstorm on fire, while Seraphine fired precise rounds from above, taking out Silas's mechanized drones that hovered to stabilize the Titan Howler, and together they formed a perfect synergy of instinct, skill, and fury. Yet the Titan Howler's power was almost overwhelming, its massive tail smashing a canyon wall, sending rock avalanches down, and Jaxon barely dodged, rolling across jagged stones as the wind from the creature's roar nearly knocked him off his feet. And in that instant he realized, brute force alone would not win this battle. The Titan Howler and Silas were linked, and only by breaking the connection could they save the jungle, the West, and every living being caught in the crossfire. Jaxon dove into the jungle canopy, vines wrapping around his arms and legs like serpents, swinging him above the Titan Howler's head, while Seraphine directed his path, shouting for him to aim at the glowing core on the Titan Howler's chest, the nexus of Silas's control. With a mighty leap, Jaxon plunged into the beast's chest, heartstone energy flaring like a second sun, vines latching onto the core, twisting and constricting as the Titan Howler thrashed, the ground quaking with each step, rocks shattering, animals roaring, and Silas's mechanical voice screaming through the chaos, promising annihilation if Jaxon failed. Jaxon, feeling every pulse of the jungle, every heartbeat of the creature, and every thread of Silas's control, summoned the full force of the Heartstone, pouring rage, grief, and the memory of Ironback into one unstoppable surge. And with a deafening cry that shook the heavens, he ripped the core free, shattering the control link, causing the Titan Howler to freeze mid-strike, its molten eyes flickering, and Silas's body thrown violently across the canyon, landing among jagged rocks unconscious, the mechanical fusion destroyed. The Titan Howler, now free from Silas's control, lowered its massive head, breathing deep, eyes softening from rage to calm, acknowledging Jaxon not as an enemy, but as a fellow guardian of the wild frontier. A silent bond formed between the colossal beast and the jungle-born warrior, while Seraphine ran to Jaxon's side, exhausted but triumphant, as the forest around them slowly began to heal from the devastation. Rivers flowing normally, birds returning, and the sun breaking through dark clouds like a beacon of hope. With Silas captured by Jaxon and Seraphine, the gearbound syndicate shattered in disarray, deserting their ambitions, leaving behind weapons, machines, and maps for the West to recover, and Jaxon knew the frontier would never be the same. Humans had seen the power of the jungle, and legends of the wild gunslinger would spread far, beyond the borders of trees and deserts. Standing atop the highest cliff, the Titan Howler at his side, Jaxon looked across the horizon where jungle met desert. Rivers glittered like molten silver, and towns in the distance buzzed with life, feeling the pulse of the world. Knowing he had fulfilled the legacy of the Keepers, but that his journey was far from over, new threats would rise. But the heart of the jungle, the spirit of the wild frontier, and the courage of those who refused to bow would always fight back. And with Seraphine at his side and the Titan Howler as his ally, Jaxon roared into the sky, a sound that echoed across canyon, forest, and plains, calling to anyone who would listen that the wild frontier was alive, untamed, and waiting for the next chapter. And if viewers want to witness more of Jaxon's unstoppable legend, his battles, his adventures, and the stories that will shake the world from jungle canopy to western plains, they must subscribe to Old Whisper Stories now, because this is the grand finale. But the legend of Jaxon, the Heartstone, and the wild frontier will echo forever.